So
All right.
world is going to challenging times we need.
All right. Breaking news coming in. Prime Minister Modi is also set to hold bilaterals with 4 leaders on the sidelines of the G20 Summit, including Brazilian President Lula da Silva, Chile's President Gabriel Boric, Argentina's President Javier Milei, and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Let me, in fact, also rope in General Parihar into this conversation. Sir, what's your assessment of how important is it for India, to increase our bilateral integrity and unity and camaraderie with all these nations, considering the fact that India, whatever it has prospered in the last 10 years has been as a result of its relationship. How important is this summit for India? How important are these negotiations that the Prime Minister is overseeing and observing?
Summit has brought nicely about the G20 infrastructure and how it is functioning. Obviously, when you have 20 countries, European Union and African Union, you can't expect to have a unanimity in each and every resolution which is having. A consensus is always having a deviations, and for every country, every leader, the own interest, the national interest is the prime important, and to push their own policy. So obviously, the G20 has to work on this frame of a advisory frame and common objects of the environment protections, education, health, food security, artificial intelligence, cyber security. These are the issues where you can find some kind of a consensus. The spectrum of the G20 is made in such a manner that all previous meetings with the ministerial groups and other days make the frame, and the day one is with the addresses of the different countries, presidents and premiers. That gives the directions to their ideology and the future planning for G20. The second day is for the sideline. It is very, very important. The day two, you have the opportunity to interact with as many number of important leaders and discuss about your own interest. Now, no country in today's world can ignore India, Indian economy, Indian military power, Indian space power, and our leadership led by the PM Modi. It has to be taken very seriously in any international forum. We will be listened carefully, and people are looking towards our contribution in the future. For India, yes, sir, since you are growing in your stature, you need to take over certain responsibilities, and the global south. Obviously, the global south is a region where the maximum actions are going on. A lot of resources are there, natural resources, and there is an ample scope for any industrialization. So there will be a rat race for this, and China is obviously wants to hold the global south with his road and belt initiative. And as Subhit has already mentioned, that they are targeting 2030 to control. For India, Indonesia is very important because it is linked with the Asia Pacific region. Australia has the natural resources, again with the Quad. So we have our interest, and most important for us is about the growing these Palestinian activities in the UK, Canada, and US. That is definitely. But obviously, the G20 forum does not act on these things, but on the sideline, our Prime Minister can definitely push our interest and get something better for our future. So overall, PM Modi is doing good job in all these meetings. He has been heard, and his views are very important. President Biden, he has practically has become a non-president president now. Wish that we would have nominated Trump here to represent the US, because the US policies under Trump will change the scene in the G20 also. Brazilian president wants to have the South globe economy to flourish it, but Trump policies does not give this the trade war with the China. So a lot of things is going to happen next year, and our contribution and participation will be definitely eagerly looked after by all countries all over the world.